So how's it going out there in internet land? It's late. It's about 1:45 on October 3rd. So I guess it's still October 2nd, late at night. I know I picked the most random time to make these videos. I made a couple other ones, but they were too big to put on YouTube. So I think I'm in the process of still learning how to edit this stuff. But I guess I can keep it under 15 minutes. Those of you that know me know that I can talk forever. So it's going to be hard for me to keep it under 15 minutes, but I'm going to try really, really hard. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. Number one is apparently it took Donald Trump 3 days to denounce white supremacy. And he even denounced the Proud Boys, who at first he told them to, I think it was step down, step back, stand back, whatever, anything other than denouncing that he said. He more mumbo jumbo, more mumbling from him, more wimpy words from him, nothing really concrete. Um, he knew who the Proud Boys were. He doesn't know who they were or they are. Now he does, and then he denounced them. But it took him 3 days. It's an absurdity. Look, anyone still defending Donald Trump at this point is a straight up white supremacist. You're either a white supremacist, you don't understand what's going on, or that's it. I mean, either a white supremacist, um, uh, specifically, expressly so, or implicitly, you decided you don't care about white supremacy. It's not a deal breaker for you. So that makes you a soft white supremacist. You're not malicious. Maybe you don't want to see anyone get hung or, physically assaulted, but you've decided that white supremacy is not a deal breaker for you. So guess what? That makes you a white supremacist too. So unfortunately, that's where we're at. They love Trump. His supporters love him. They worship him. Um, the Proud Boys worship him. They feed his ego, but magically they don't know who he is. Whatever. Okay. He's full of it. He's a white supremacist. His entire career is filled with instances of white supremacy. Whether it's the Central Park Five, whether it's his treatment towards immigrants, be they Muslims or immigrants from Muslims, immigrants from Africa, immigrants from Latin America. He always has something bad to say. I mean, we all know the shithole country comment. It's a shame. It's offensive. His crappy treatment towards Puerto Ricans, it's well documented. The guy's a racist. What was it during the debate? I mean, that debate was an absolute disaster. Democracy Now! Reported that Donald Trump interrupted Biden 128 times. So there's this narrative out there that the debate is the worst in history. It probably was. There's no doubt in my mind it was the worst presidential debate in history, but you need to be aware of this narrative that both sides are to blame. Now, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I don't like Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden supporters are part of the problem. I think Joe Biden supporters are part of the reason this country is falling apart. People drinking the Joe Biden Kool-Aid, but I'm not foolish enough to think that Joe Biden is anywhere near as dangerous as Donald Trump. He isn't. He's a silly, out of touch old man, but he's not as bad as Donald Trump. I have many criticisms of Joe Biden. I do think he's a goofy old racist. And I think cognitively he has diminished since 2008 and 2012. That is clear. The problem is the bar has been set so low with Donald Trump that I don't think Joe Biden has to do much or try hard without moving up the ladder. I mean, I feel like if you talk to anyone, I'm a fan of the Young Turks. I'll say it. If you listen to them, I mean, they'll talk about how Joe Biden they'll allude to, or they'll beat around the bush. They won't necessarily say this specifically. Joe Biden lacks a killer instinct. There are legions of leftist progressives or even liberal Democrats out there with a killer instinct that could really go after someone like Donald Trump, could flip the switch on him, could attack his ego, could attack his lack of masculinity, his just the way he moves when he talks, his body language, his physical appearance, his speech pattern. None of this is masculine. None of this is tough. These are all ways you could attack him. I mean, the fact that he hides his college records, his high school records, you can attack him for being unintelligent. You can attack him for being not manly. You could attack him for being responsible for 210,000 deaths. You can attack him for not having any kind of coherent policy on any issues. It should be nonstop, but the Democrats lack that killer instinct. It's okay to go after him on issues that you might think are petty, like his appearance or his speech pattern, if you're also going after his policy, if you're also going after the fact that he's responsible for 210,000 dead Americans, which, by the way, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, you know that Donald Trump has tested positive for the coronavirus. He and the First Lady, Melania Trump, both have. So I don't know if it's still a hoax. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there who for months have been trying to play it down and act like it isn't that bad. And you know what? This isn't the movie Outbreak. This isn't the Black Death. This isn't, the zombie outbreak. It's not supposed to be that, and it's not always going to be that. And chances are it probably won't be that. But the fact is 200,000 Americans are dead. 210,000 Americans are dead, and countless others, not countless, but thousands of others around the world. And these are, for the most part, lives that could have been avoided, lives that were lost due to lack of leadership, lives that were lost due to bad policy. I mean, Donald Trump is sitting there the first couple of months talking about it doesn't affect children, it doesn't affect the healthy, it's only affecting old people, it's only affecting the sick. Got my pink lemonade here. Turns out none of that was true. So that blood is on his hands. I mean, it's an absurdity. I mean, the fact that there are people that are still thinking about voting for Trump, 210,000 dead Americans. I mean, the guy can't even put a sentence together. I mean, it's an absurdity. The fact that people think that he knows what he's talking about, that he's playing for some kind of four-dimensional chess. There was no instance where Donald Trump is the most intelligent person in the room. And I know if you're sitting there and you're watching this video and you hate watching this video, you're saying, well, Donald Trump is smarter than you, Christian. Donald Trump was smart enough to become president. Well, he was smart enough to become president. I don't think he's smarter than me. That's 100% not true. He was just smarter than the legions and legions of people that voted for him. Most of them are unintelligent people. A lot of them are people who didn't know what was going on. And a huge part of them are white supremacists, racist, sexist, people who are okay with groping women, people who are okay with peeping and creeping on underage women, just admitting to groping, just blatant racism. There are millions of Americans who are okay with that. And unfortunately, that's where we're at now. I will say, regarding Donald Trump having the coronavirus, it is a little bit of poetic justice. The fact that if he literally opens his mouth, he can kill people. I don't think anyone's brought that up. I mean, he has killed people. He is responsible for killing 210,000 Americans from the coronavirus alone. I don't know how many other Americans are dead from general negligence and other bad policies. But the fact is, if he literally opens his mouth, he can kill people. So the best thing for everyone, the best thing for humanity, the best thing for planet Earth right now is for Donald Trump not to say anything. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. If you notice during the debate, Donald Trump did the old, the Trump deflection. They're usually pretty good at that. When he was, criticized for his support by white supremacists, he immediately went on the left and criticized Antifa. And that's the thing with Joe Biden. I have zero faith in Joe Biden to win this election, to put a sentence together and all of that stuff. But Joe Biden was intelligent enough to say that Antifa is an idea, not an organization. And I'm like, Antifa hasn't killed anybody. There's no anti-fascist organization where they meet and they plot to kill people. Anti-fascists have not killed anyone in the United States. This is another right-wing myth. It's more Trump nonsense, more deflecting. There is no evidence that they serve a threat at all in the United States. And that's coming from the FBI, Trump's own FBI. I don't trust the FBI, but if the FBI is telling you that a left-wing organization, the FBI, given to hyperbole, given to bombast, given to lying about left-wing organizations, both in the United States, globally, and so on and so forth, talking about them not being a threat, well, I'm going to believe them over Donald Trump. As I've said on New Jersey Revolution Radio, as I've said in a number of interviews in the past, there's no instance where Donald Trump has everyone's best interest in mind. Donald Trump's always out for Donald Trump and not anyone else. And that's just the reality of the situation. There is no universe where the FBI favors left-wing ideas, the left-wing people. So the FBI is saying that Antifa is not a threat. It's time to believe them. Joe Biden is not working with Antifa. He wants nothing to do with them. If you believe that, you're a goof. Joe Biden has spent his entire career cozying up to power, cozying up to Southern segregationists. He's not going to cozy up to Southern segregationists and then turn around and be buddy-buddy with anti-capitalist Antifa. That's just a pipe dream. It is a blatant misunderstanding of what liberals are in the 21st century, what the Democratic Party is, and who Joe Biden is. We can't get Joe Biden to denounce being buddy-buddy with racists from back in the day. He's not all of a sudden going to turn into Malcolm X. Let's get real. Anyone telling you Joe Biden or Kamala Harris is a communist is a buffoon and a goof, and you need to tell them that to their face and keep it moving. Joe Biden is not a communist. Kamala Harris is not a communist. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, none of these people are communists. Okay, these are corporate Democrats, centrist Democrats, whatever you want to call them. These people are not a threat to the status quo. And that's pretty much all it is. I mean, they're not a threat to the status quo. They're not a threat to anyone. I don't know what else to say about that. Let me see. Regarding Trump having the coronavirus, I guess it's not a hoax. We're not really hearing that word anymore. There are a number of conservatives still not wearing masks, whatever, still responsible for getting people sick, whatever. I mean, Trump is responsible for getting Herman Cain killed. I don't know how many other people he's responsible for getting killed, because when you would go to Trump rallies, they used to make people sign waivers. So they know that the coronavirus was infecting people. So they would have people sign waivers so that they couldn't sue them. I mean, just drinking the Kool-Aid. By the way, I don't ever want to hear about cults of personality regarding left-wing figures in the past ever again, because we see how Trump has been treated, and the cult of personality around Trump and the Republican Party is absolutely grotesque. All the horrors they told you about that would come true under communism have now come true under the Republican Party, whether it's poverty, breadlines, economic collapse, healthcare crises, whatever it is, it's all come true because of with the Republicans in power. It's been an absolute disaster. Donald Trump in power has been a disaster. The fact that people are still trying to support him, it's absurd. I mean, we need to start calling these people out and telling them for who they are. You know, just ask them, like, why are you a racist? Why are you supporting racism? Why are you supporting racist policies? You know, do you think when Donald Trump trashes Muslims or Mexicans that it's funny? Yes or no questions. I mean, and the problem is, I mean, there are these goofy Latinos, these goofy people of color that are out there saying that Trump is the best thing from sliced bread. I mean, put them in a corner too. I mean, we need to go after these people. We need to explain to them and explain to everyone else that they're not representative of us, that they don't live in the real world. I mean, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. One last thing I want to talk about. I have a number of friends and relatives that are educators, and I just want to say, for the teachers out there, I get it. I know it's a crapshoot. You're either in a good district or you're not. You either have good leadership, or you don't. So I hear you. I mean, it's got to be tough out there. It's got to be frustrating, but just keep an eye out, because there are a number of districts sweeping information under the rug, hiding infections, dates, students, who has what. Keep an eye out. But anyway, I mean, I think I'm just going to wrap it up there tonight. Keep it easy, keep it simple. Try to keep it under 15 minutes. I don't know. Like, subscribe, hit me up at Perez Podcast on Twitter, perezpodcast@gmail.com. Modernity and Absurdity, blah. Hit me up, reach out. Let me know how you're doing. Take care. Bye-bye.